Hello everyone, Chino here. As you know always, if you want to check more videos, subscribe and thumbs up if you like the video. Now let's begin with what we want to explain. This video will be about our tier set, the Subletly Rogue tier set. The tooltips, as always, Blizzard tooltips, we get kind of an explanation. I explained it a little bit on the first time that we talked about this, at the beginning on the PTR. But there has not been many changes. There is one change that is going to come. I'm going to explain it more or less towards the end of the video because we still don't have the implementation ready, but we have the idea that Reals has told us that it's going to happen. Because right now there's something that happens. I'm going to explain first the effects. When you use Eviscerate, Rupture, or Black Powder, you have a chance. The chance is 33%, by the way. We have checked with more than 3,400 or 4,000 tries using different finishers. It's more or less 33% to 30% that you can proc one of these shadow clones doing 50% additional damage. For Eviscerate and Black Powder, this 50% additional shadow damage comes off from the physical hit. And for Rupture, this comes off the whole duration that you're going to have that Rupture for, taking into account multipliers like Finality, it's 30% multiplier, and in this case, Night Stalker, 10% multiplier. Now, for the ones that you are going to do it inside dance, it's likely I'm saying, for builds that take finality to maybe try and gamble to get one of these clone ruptures. Why? Because it's going to do kind of a snapshot of what you have up at the time, including trinkets and procs. Like, for example, you have a Sophic proc, you know, that's a lot of agility. And if you have a trinket like the Ashes of the Ember Soul, that's also a lot of agility. Or if you have Irideus from last season, or some things like that. If you use dance at the beginning, and with that first dance, you snap that rupture and you get the proc, you can get upwards of 600 or 700k damage just from the copy of the rupture. So that's a really strong global. And also when you are doing eviscerates and black powders, they do proc constantly. It's not hard to just look at them. Now, there's one interaction that it's also linked to the set. Now, your shadow clones deal 10% increased damage. That means that it's up to 60% of this additional shadow damage, or in this case 55% if we take the amps. The real math is kind of more complicated. We will have like a spreadsheet or something to kind of explain it better, but it can change at any moment. So right now in this video I'm only going to explain the mechanics, not the numbers. And then they give 2 combo points per clone when summoned. This actually does not work like that. It's not when summoned, it's where they actually hit. That's the problem. When you are doing eviscerates and black powders and ruptures, you get this combo point later when the clone hits. That is going to be one of the changes that is going to make it a quality of life improvement, because as you know we have a 1 second global cooldown, so it should in theory not be a problem. But as we are humans, we kind of like to smash that button. So if we just use the finisher and we want to use another builder or two, you may proc that copy and then fill combo points and waste a builder in this case. It also works with Shadow Technique because, as it says, it summons 2 shadow clones. If you have checked my other videos where I explained this, but you get 1 shadow clone 1 second later and the second shadow clone 1.3 seconds later. This was important to get the 2 shadow techniques in dust, and you can also get them now kind of inside of the flag duration. But let's talk now, and let's see it in 1 second. Like you can see, we get here all our combo points. We have 7 combo points, and now if we use, in this case, Shadow Technique, see, you get 2 combo points at 1 second, and the other 2 combo points at 1.3 seconds. Now, if we do the same thing with Eviscerates, sometimes it procs, sometimes it doesn't proc. I'm just going to keep using them. See, we got the proc 1 second later, and in this case, as you have seen, I was already using my next builder. So that means if that is a Shadow Strike instead of a Backstab, you could cap combo points and maybe lose some of them, without taking into account that you could also lose, in this case, Shadow Techniques stacks. So that is almost all of the interactions of the tier set. They, of course, as they go by the physical damage hit, they don't take into account when you do a whole Eviscerate. They also get tracked as Shadow Eviscerate or Shadow Rupture. And you can see this. It was kind of funny because you saw my Eviscerate was really weak. So it also did even less because I was spamming 1 combo points Eviscerates. So that would be all, more or less. If there is any changes, I will do a follow-up video. But that are all the things that we have with our tier set. Nice day.